What's up, guys? It's your boy Jalen here on another episode of Elevated Minds. We have our man here, Daniel Fox. We are going to be talking about another cool topic today. This one is once again for the ladies. So, ladies, this one's for you. We really want to dive more into ways that a woman can attract a masculine man. That's what this title is going to be, is how to attract a masculine man. And so we're going to really just dive more into things that the ladies can do, things that more that you can dive into your femininity so that you can be in that natural, loving, radiant, feminine essence so that you can easily attract multiple men to find the best one that is for you. So that's what this episode is about. Haven't followed us yet? I'm going to have Daniel's stuff up above so you can follow him on TikTok. I'll have my social media stuff up above as well and in the description box so you guys can check our stuff out. And let's go on and dive into this episode. So first thing, we kind of talked about this a little bit the last episode, and that was how to make space for him. Ladies, if you are struggling to find a man, a masculine man, a lot of times women find plenty of men, but they're not the ones that they want. They're not the masculine men that they want. And so one thing that we talked about in the last episode was learning how to make space for him. And this could be in, metaphorically and physically. So start off by cleaning out your closet, cleaning out your car, cleaning out your house, making room in your bed, making room in the passenger seat of your car, making room in your garage, whatever it is. It's really just getting yourself primed for a man to be in your life. You don't want to automatically have these blockages of it's just you here, or you're struggling to find a man. So you're doing things that are kind of counterintuitive to attracting the man. And so next thing is definitely cleaning your heart, making sure there's space in there. Maybe you're connected to someone else from the past or something else that's happened. You have to really make sure that you're making space for this new man that is coming into your life. This is how you manifest. It's literally making the space, figuratively and physically.
That's so great, man. I was toying with this idea last week. So last year. It's been a while. that manifesting's like it's like a vacuum. Like you create a space of low pressure, and then just, this is the metaphor, is that then the atmosphere comes and fills that space of low pressure. So it's like a vacuum, and that inside the vacuum there's a real low pressure area, and then all the air comes up and some of the dirt comes up with the air into the vacuum. Now, what I noticed with myself and with some friends who were like, we're trying to, manifest something or call in somebody, but the seal on the vacuum was broken. Like let's say that the hose that connects that low pressure chamber, like that like houses all of the suction, the seal is like, it's leaking, and so it's like pulling in stuff from the side, and you're actually participating in pulling it. The metaphor is that you're sleeping around with people that you don't want in your life, and that's keeping that suction from actually working, like from actually calling in that person.
Wow.
And so the advice is not easy. Like the hard advice was, okay, well, do you really want this? Because right now, like all of that suction is like leaking out the sides, and it's like, it's not getting what you want, it's just getting air, just getting stuff around.
Right.
And what you really want is to like tighten that seal up. And this gets a little bit into asceticism. Like you don't allow stuff that's not aligned with what you want. You don't entertain things that aren't taking you on the path toward getting this thing you want. You're like tightening that seal down.
Yes.
And it's very much a route of self-discipline. I couldn't in good conscience say, oh, go do whatever with whoever and your right person will come along at the same time. The doing whatever with whoever was the very nature of like what was keeping that vacuum not functioning well. It was like keeping the suction very, very low, because just wherever was coming into the vacuum, and you were allowing it. Like you're in charge of the vacuum.
Yes, I love that whole analogy, because I think that's a lot of issues that women do face today. They're a lot, and I think kind of some women are settling. They're not able to get the man or the things that they want. So they're settling for a certain type of lifestyle, a certain type of man, and that is blocking. That there's the suction, like you said, the suction is bringing these types of people in. You're sleeping with these types of people, spending time with these types of people, giving them your body, giving them your energy, and you're actually blocking the suction from pulling in what you really want, the life that you want, the man that you want. You're slowing the suction down. You're actually, in a way, blocking it, and it's almost like an hindrance. And that was even something that I had to learn myself. When you're wanting a certain type of woman or a lifestyle, some type of goal or something, you can't go left or right and get distracted and accept the things into that suction that you don't want in there. If it's not aligned with you, then really it's going to slow you down. You can end up being with, ladies, you could be with a guy that you choose that's not the guy you want, that's not even right for you, but you felt lonely, you wanted a man in general, and so you accept this man, and then you get hurt, and then it pushes you back another year and a half worth of healing that you got to do, and more trauma, and then that puts up even more blocks for a possible masculine good man to come into your life. So just like you said there, that was a great analogy. You don't want to block the suction from what you actually want. What happens when that happens bigger than ever? Really, you're sucking in all this other stuff, where you're not able to get the maximum suction when the leaks are coming in. You're not allowed. You're not able to, get the stuff that you actually want into the vacuum. So, ladies, look at it kind of like that. When you kind of go for the things that you don't want or what you're really looking for, you're really setting yourself up for failure in the future.
Yeah, and to go even deeper than this, it's going to delay the power and the speed that you are able to get what you want. What my heart is really concerned about is that in pulling in that stuff from the sides, like the metaphor is like, oh, just some random air is coming in and it's weakening the power of the vacuum. Okay, that's fine, but it's the stuff from the air that, and the analogy will break down here. It's these experiences that we have, both men and women, but it's absolutely more pronounced in women, that are low level and sometimes high level traumatizing. In that when we settle for things that aren't our vision, we're reinforcing with ourselves, with the world, with the universe, that's what we're worth. And it really is, it is a hard path to say no to easy sex. It's a hard path to say no to companionship that's pretty good, but not really what I want. And yet that's what's required. And it's what the requirement is actually that we all do the inner work. I'm including myself in here, man. I'm just taking a big old scoop right on my own lap. and the work is how can I be okay with not self-medicating with other people who aren't in line with my value, in line with my vision? How can I not self-medicate with whatever other thing I would be distracted with, whether it's work or media or TikTok or whatever it is? There really is only one thing. And I woke up with a headache today, and I'm thinking man, in my weakness he is strong. The only thing that is worth self-medicating with is deepening your relationship with the divine. I mean, when it all comes down to it, this whole stuff, everything about relationships, everything about work, it's all, I think, from a certain frame, designed to draw you back to God. Whatever that is, in whatever level you understand God. I've understood God in a lot of different ways for the years, and I still have no idea. It's all designed to draw you back to fulfillment in the divine. And I think that's the pill for me this morning, which is, I can cut things out. I can tighten that seal on my vacuum so I can attract the right one. Well, then I get the right one, and guess what happens? That sucks too, because I'm a human, flawed person. I'm going to ruin it, and they're a match for me, so they're flawed too, and they're going to ruin it too in their own different way. And so, where does that lead me? Well, that leads me back to God too. There is I got real close to the mic and whispered, "Let me tell you a secret." This whole thing is driving us back to God in some way.
Yes.
And that's so abstract, and it's so big, and it's so cliche that it's not even maybe worth saying for a lot of people. But today, for me, that's worth saying.
I think that's great, actually, because we talked about this kind of in another episode a little while back. Being connected to God, to Source, to the divine. This is how we get rejuvenated. A lot of people deal with so many issues in life, and that's because they don't have God in their life, or they're disconnected. And ladies, I really think it was really important when you said doing the inner work. That was actually one of the points I had. So I want to touch on that as well, along with this. A lot of times where we as people are blocking future things to come into our life, or we're blocking God, a lot of times because we're not doing the inner work. And the inner work is so important because, like you said, we try to fill the void or the pain with all types of different things. We try to fill it, like you said, with work. We try to fill it with food. We try to fill it with sex. We try to fill it with the next person, TV, movies, drugs, you name it, alcohol. And and this is something I see very, very often when it comes to women. A lot of women get hurt, and instead of looking for that solution to actually do the inner work, to connect to God, heal that pain, they're jumping to the next guy. And then that doesn't work. Then they jump to the next guy. Then that doesn't work. And they jump to the next guy. And this is all within a year type of period. This is really not going to help you. It's actually it's pushing you back. There's something that's missing that you're looking for. And until you heal that wound and do the actual inner work, connect to God, come back to Source, you're going to run into the same issue. And we talked about this also before. You run into the same demon in a different person because you haven't healed, and you attract the things that you are. You attract whatever you're on that same vibrational frequency match. The guy could not be hurt in the same way, but he could be some type of man that brings you something from relationships that you've experienced in the past that you are used to. And because you haven't done the inner work, you can't see that. You're still working through that same lens without Source, without God. And you're going to keep pulling that same type of person in. You're going to keep reliving that same trauma, that same pain. The problem is you got to step back and really feel what it is that you need to feel. Stop trying to fill that void or that pain with a substance or with a person or with rejecting God. It comes back to these really simple principles. I mean, they're hard, especially if you've been doing it in a different way. But the truth of the matter is, these are simple things that you're avoiding, and this could be causing you or hindering you from the type of life that you want and the type of man that you want and what you're wanting to attract.
Yeah, this old advice is for women. I heard it in a movie, and it was like the best way to get over a man is to get under another man. Have you heard that?
Yeah, I heard that.
I think when I first heard it, I was like a young kind of Christian, and I was like, that's so awful, and I just had this repulsive thing. And then life went on. I was like, well, it does kind of work, So I just wanted to say that, there's a lot of people, it does kind of work. There's a lot of people that are out there doing that because you're feeding an addiction. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's call it what it is that there's pain that your body wants to metabolize and process and heal. There are things that you need to feel, that you need to reckon with. Yes. And instead of doing that, what you're doing is taking the brain chemistry, the brain chemicals, and the flood of dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, and all of those things that I don't know anything about except their names, and using that to take you out of the presence of that pain, to take you out of the urgency of dealing with it, to total addiction. And so if you're one of these people that goes from person to person because the best way to get over your last man is to get under a new one, you are layering pain upon pain upon pain, trauma, lowercase t trauma. Maybe he was fine. Maybe he was just a good guy. You weren't into him, or he wasn't into you. Whatever that lowercase t trauma was, that it just didn't work out, but you still felt something. There's still something that's just getting layered on there like a lasagna. And until you pause that flood of brain chemistry and really are able to sit with processing those layers, and they may not process in order. You may have something toward the bottom or toward the top or whatever is most urgent, until you really sit with and can breathe, come back to your breath, come back to a place of non-emotional reactivity when you think of the bad things that happened or when you imagine that relationship. That's a sign that you're getting somewhere, is when you can think back on it and there's no charge, there's no emotional charge. It's just, yeah, that happened. That's a real sign that like you've been able to sit with and breathe and feel your feelings, and you're getting healthy.
I love that. This is something that I know a lot of women probably have heard. They usually hear, oh, get your mind off of it, get out, go do this, go with your girlfriends, go, stay busy, so you don't have to think about it. And, in a way, I think that's partially that's good advice when you don't want to be sitting moping around, once you've been heartbroken or you've been hurt again. You don't want to just sit in the house, become a hermit, and you never do anything besides work, and then, just stay in your pajamas all day, every day. You don't want to do that. You need to get out of the house. But sometimes women, I think, fall into that trap of, be busy, go do this, and this, so you don't think about it. And then what ends up happening is you've just postponed the pain. You've been doing this for a month and a half straight, just being busy, going to conferences, going to the beach, going on vacations, going out to drink with your girlfriends every night, just keeping your mind off of it, meeting new men. And then a month and a half later, it comes and you're sitting on the couch and it just like hits you like a bag of bricks, and you're just like, whoa, I didn't know that I'm still hurting like this. It's because you postponed the pain. You didn't really do anything to heal the pain. You didn't feel it. The main way that we heal through pain is feeling it. And I have to say this, some women are actually, and not just women, men in general, some people are addicted to pain. They're addicted to doing that same thing over and over again. And I have to even put myself in there. There were times where I would date and then I realized, wait a minute, like this is a cycle. I date with this person, meet them, oh, this is cool. Then 5 months later, I'm not really that into them. We break it off. I go through a little moment. I chill out for a little bit, and then I start the process all over again. And it was like a pattern. I'm like, this is a pattern I'm doing. And it's not, there would be like almost this, not the same type of woman, but just slightly different. And I'm like, wait a minute, something's going on here. I need to like kind of look into that. And once I started to look into these things, I'm like, oh, I'm doing a pattern. This, even like during certain seasons, I like to have a woman during this time of period, I might not really be interested in a relationship. And then this, and just like looking at your patterns, like look at what you're doing. It's a lot of times we're moving on autopilot. And so ladies, really pay attention. Like, are you addicted to pain? Are you addicted to these types of relationships? This type of man? You say you want this type of man, but your actions aren't really aligning because you're still entertaining this type of man right here. So really ask yourself these questions. Is this really what you want? And if it is what you want, what do I need to do? What do I need to do in order to be able to get from here to get to over here, to attract the type of results, the type of life and the type of man you want? What do I need to do in order to get that? I've obviously been doing it this way and it's not working for me. I'm still in pain. I'm still experiencing different traumas. I'm still dealing with the same type of guy. I moved away to a whole new state and I'm still dealing with the same type of guy. What's going on? What's going on here? These guys are trash. Might not be that the guys are trash. It might, the ones that you dealt with might be, but there's something that's going on with you that you have to really look at. Like, be honest with yourself. Don't just try and pass the blame over here and pass the blame over there. Really ask yourself these questions. Is there something that you are doing to polarize yourself to attract this type of man? Or is there something that's going on that your trauma that you're dealing with is attracting this type of man? You're still stuck in that state of mind, that perspective, that energy, that frequency. This is where you're at. So in order to get from there to here, what do you need to do?
That's awesome. What else you got on your list for us today?
This is a big one here. Ladies, when you're wanting to attract a masculine man, you have to change your limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs can be your worst enemy. This goes for anybody, but for right now, we're talking about you, ladies. Limiting beliefs can really block you from finding the love. this is what I hear a lot of women say. I'm not ready for dating yet. There's no good men around me. There's no good men in my life. It's hard to find a good man. I need to lose weight first. I don't want to get hurt again. I don't want to get cheated on again. I don't want to get lied to again. I don't want to be betrayed. Yeah, I understand. I totally understand. But here's the harsh reality. If you're still thinking these types of limiting beliefs, you're still wounded. From whatever has happened before, you're still wounded. Something has happened. Maybe you got rejected by a man. Maybe a man didn't treat you right. Maybe you were with a man and, you thought he was like this and he ended up being something entirely different and, cheated on you or betrayed you or lied to you, manipulated you, done all types of different things to you, to where you're so in pain and you're associating every new possible man to come in your life. You're associating them with this pain. And these are limiting beliefs that you developed from experiences that you've gone through in dating or just relationships or just in general in life. But it comes to a point to where you have to take some accountability, take some self-reflecting and say, hey, I can't think this way. If I want to attract this type of man, I can't have this mindset. I can't say, oh, no man wants me. I can't say, oh, there's no man that's going to be attracted to me. Oh, I can't say there's just no good men around. All these men around here are the same. If you keep saying that, then that is what your narrative is always going to be. So ladies, you have to change your story. How do you change your story? You change those limiting beliefs. You have to let go of these beliefs that you have here that aren't serving you. They're not serving you. So why would you want to keep saying that there's no men around here? If you keep saying something, that's what you're going to see. You're going to literally see everything that your mind sees. You sing through this lens of pain and hurt. So in order to attract a masculine man in the life that you actually do want, you have to let go of these limiting beliefs.
That's a great point. I've been really struggling with this idea of limiting beliefs lately, because it's really close to what we see when women are like, go be ridiculously delusional. Have you heard that? Like, girl, I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna act like I am the richest, most famous, most beautiful woman in the world. I'm just gonna be delusional. I'm like, and that's a practice of changing limiting beliefs, right? You've got somebody who's like a normal person who's like, I was raised in Jersey and whatever their story is. And then one day they decide to go out and they wear like slightly better clothes and they carry themselves slightly better. All these little hacks to go be ridiculously delusional as a way of shortcutting through all of those limiting beliefs. Does it work? No, it doesn't work. It works for 20 seconds at a time. Yep. When you can remember. Now, this is what's missing from the go be ridiculously delusional girl mentality, is that ridiculous delusion is sitting on top of unhealed, unaddressed trauma, pain, and beliefs. So how do you can't build a birthday cake on top of a sewer output. I want to say that in a less gross way. Like, you can't have a mustard seed cake and then put chocolate frosting on it and then expect that to be good. Like, at some point you're gonna lick the chocolate frosting and you're gonna eat the cake and you're gonna be like, well, this cake still tastes like mustard. It's not right. It's not right. And so the real work is going down into the cake level, the beliefs that you actually have that you haven't resolved, and finding access to responsibility. That's the only way that you change a limiting belief. It's not through blame. It's not through hypnosis. You actually have to go find a way that you were responsible for co-creating that, which puts you back in a place of power. Then, I mean, this is not easy work. You don't just put on a pair of 4-inch heels and walk out and go like, I'm ridiculously gorgeous. Like, the work is, I was responsible for creating the life that I had thus far. And this is how I got what I wanted. This is how I got what I didn't want. And so I'm going to work toward changing something different because I can be whoever I want to be. The caveat is that doesn't happen instantly. It happens through taking responsibility and then forgiving the people. Because once you're in a place of responsibility, you're no longer in a place of blaming others. Like, no one did anything to you. They may have participated in doing something to you, but you were the one that had the vibe that put it out and said, you can mistreat me. You're the one that had the vibe that put yourself in a situation. You're the one that accepted attention from somebody. You're the one that didn't know how to say no, never learned how to do that. So you can really be in a place of responsibility, and that will allow you to forgive and clear out all of the stuff that's keeping you kind of locked in, so that, you know, that it's, so when you go out and be ridiculously delusional, it only ends up being like 20 seconds at a time, a little layer. And somebody might say, wow, what's going on with you today? But they really just mean you're walking weird.
I love that though. Like that, something I learned is forgiveness is for you. It's not for the other person. It's not for the person that hurt you. It's pretty much letting that baggage go, letting the blame go. You're not pointing any fingers. You don't have any ill will or hate towards anybody. You forgave, and now you're focusing on the future, and you're accepting, and like you said, that delusional thing, like, this is why I keep stressing it's really important for ladies to be honest with yourself. Because, yeah, when it comes to, you know, affirmations and stuff like that, you're not there yet, of course. Like, you know, some people say these things like, oh, I am rich, I am famous, I am love, I am this and this. And sometimes you're really not quite there yet. Your mind isn't really there, and you might physically not be there. So it's really being, you know, that the delusion, you really have to take that as a grain of salt, because you're still right here. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to lie to yourself. You don't want to go out here and act like you're this, and this, and deep down you're still not even there yet. And lady, like you said, it's going to be taking some accountability and some responsibility. Women that have dealt with pain and trauma and been hurt by someone, everyone wants to point the finger. Everyone wants to point the finger back at the other person, you know, and I get it, because I've been there too. I've pointed fingers, but you know, there comes a point where you got to forgive. You got to, like you said, take the responsibility for the part that you had, and then it's time to do some shadow work. You know, really looking at the side that you don't show, things that you kind of reject to the world, that you're embarrassed to show, the parts of you that have trauma that come out in different situations and relationships and friendships. Even really tend to those wounds. And a lot, like we talked about this before, a lot of times it comes from childhood. Sometimes it just comes from just different things you've experienced, maybe in your teenage years, your early 20s. You can experience different, you know, like you said, lower T or higher T traumas in your life, and it just comes to the point where, okay, you have to take some responsibility for these things. You can't just carry it around. I like to use this analogy. You go into a new relationship, and I'm not even going to use a relationship. You get into this car with this guy that you just met, and you got like 10 bags. You got 10 bags of stuff. They're heavy bags too, and you can't carry it. So he's got to get all these bags in the back of the car. Okay, there's not room in my back seat anymore. I got to put some of this in the trunk. There's so many bags. What is all this? You're carrying your baggage, and you're bringing it into new relationships, and you want these new people to be responsible for it. It doesn't work, and you're not going to be able to keep this man in your life if you have all this baggage, because it's not his responsibility. He didn't do it to you. Hell, this was from a guy that you met 5 years ago, and you're still carrying that baggage. Think about that. Think about the emotional baggage. You can't see it, but the emotional baggage is still there. Whenever, you know, a man does something like this, then you just lash out at him. You lash out at him because it's bringing back something that happened with this other guy 5 years ago. He might say something like this to you, and then you lash out at him and you cuss him out, and you close up. Because that's what used to happen when he would talk to you. Your ex used to talk to you like that. You would just kind of shrivel up and become small. You know, you got to deal with these things. You can't just have that type of stuff be still lingering around. You're carrying around all this baggage of guilt, baggage of hate, baggage of jealousy, baggage of anger, baggage of depression and sadness, anxiety from a prior relationship that has nothing to do with this new man. Why would you do that to someone? You wouldn't want it. If let's flip the roles. There's a man that has a bunch of bags and he's expecting you to pick the stuff up and put it in the car. And this is stuff from a woman, his first girlfriend. This is a girl he dated for 10 years. Now he's out of a relationship and now he's trying to date again, but he never healed from it. And now he expects you to deal with the baggage. You wouldn't want to deal with that, would you? So why would you expect for a man to want to deal with that, especially a masculine man that, you know, has things going on, who has your best intentions at heart? Why would you want to put that on him? And that's right there is a self-sabotage. You're blocking a possible love interest, possible lasting love into your life because of past hurts and past traumas and baggage that you're bringing right into the new car with the new man.
That's such a great analogy. Like the car, and then like your guy is like putting your bags in the car. You know, like like, oh sweetie, could you get these for me? He's like, yeah, I got them. So he's lifting all these bags. They're pretty bags too. Lady won't walk around with ugly bags. This is so like on dating apps, one of the really common things that women are looking for is an emotionally intelligent man. I'm not sure if you've seen that. Mm-hmm. More so than even a masculine man. They want a man who's emotionally intelligent. I think they think that means emotionally vulnerable and he's going to share all his stuff with you, and we know what we think about that.
Yep.
But a woman wants an emotionally intelligent man, and I'll tell you the first thing that an emotionally intelligent man will do is he will hear you complaining about your ex, and he will go the other way. Like that's the beginning of the end of the date. That's the beginning of the end of talking to somebody, because there's no bigger indicator about who you are is when you talk shit about somebody that was close to you, and then so women know this. Some women know this. Some women don't. Some women do, and they learned it, and they go, okay, well, I just won't talk trash about my exes, and so they shove it down. Well, guess what? An emotionally intelligent man will know that you're shoving it down too. Like the only way to really be a match for an emotionally intelligent man is to go and resolve the trauma by taking responsibility for the wreckage of the past, so to speak. You know, you can't talk shit about your exes because that's immediate red flag. You can't pretend not like you don't have shit to talk about your exes because that's a yellow flag. And so somebody who's attuned will know that. The only way forward is to really go dive in deep, take responsibility for what happened, your part in it, bring forgiveness, and watch your spirit open up. Watch yourself, give yourself some space, some ease, some space to shine. It really is like, it's just a better life. Even if this isn't about dating, forgiveness is going to get you connected to a part of yourself again that you've just shoved down. And it's so important.
Yes. And this brought one other analogy to me. When you go for a job interview, you might have just worked at this place for a certain amount of years, this other job for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and now you're trying to go to this new job because you either got fired or you're just looking to quit because they're not treating you right or whatever. When you go into an interview, you're not going to go in there and say, oh, I hate this job because they shitted on me and they never let me take days off and they treated me like crap and I wasn't this and I wasn't that and my boss was micromanager, blah, 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 blah. You're not going to go into an interview and say these things and expect them to hire you. You're not going to do it because it's not going to work. When they tell you, when you're going into an interview, you're going to say the good things that you learned or that you experienced, because you know that all of it wasn't bad. You gained some type of experience. You probably learned a skill. You probably got a lot of job experience, work experience in this field or area that you were in. You probably had some cool employees. You might have not got along with your boss, but there are other people that you liked there. There's positive things that you want to talk about, and the same thing in a relationship, or when you're trying to enter a new relationship, someone might ask you about a past relationship. When you're going into an interview, you're not going to talk crap about the previous job. You're going to highlight the green flags, the things that you did learn, the good parts about it, because an employer wants to see what you learned or what you did get from that experience. You don't want to say all these negative things about it. And it's the same thing when it comes to relationships. Someone's going to tell that you probably had some part of this, or you are still bitter, you're still hurt, you still have all these pains. So this is going to be something that people are going to look at when you're meeting a masculine man. He's going to notice that you're not healed. He's going to notice that you still carry trauma, you still carry baggage from your previous relationships, and most likely you're not taking any responsibility for the things, like for any of the things, because it takes two to tango. At the end of the day, like you said, you had to have some part of it because you allowed a certain amount of things to happen. So learning how to heal and take the responsibility and have forgiveness for what has happened so that you can move on to your future. And this one is interesting because we always say it's not about the how you look and things like that, but part of it is how you look. So yes. We men are visual creatures. At the end of the day, we are visual creatures, and we do like to see a woman that is attractive. You know, dresses nice, looks nice, hair might be done. It doesn't have to be your nails and everything in a lot of accessories, but you should look nice. You should want to be presentable, not just for your man, but just for you. Because when you look good and you know you're looking nice, you might not be dolled up, or you might just have a nice outfit on. Men can see that you have a glow about yourself when you take care of yourself, because you feel good about yourself. When you feel good about yourself, you radiate that. And a masculine man that also takes care of himself looks for self-care. They look for a woman that knows how to nurture herself and knows how to make herself feel good and just be in her feminine radiance and her feminine essence. So one thing that you can do in order to attract a masculine man is to, yes, look at your appearance and make sure that, you know, you don't have to have the most expensive stuff on. You don't have to wear super expensive anything or wear expensive perfume. Just wear something that you like, that fits your style. Maybe get a stylist or a girlfriend that can help you with your look. You know, just get something that's going to fit you nice. If you are kind of feeling some type of way about your weight, the best thing about that is anybody can work on their weight. You can go to the gym, you can work out, you don't even have to go to the gym. You can do yoga, you can walk, you can run, you can do gymnastics, you can do dance. There's all different types. It's not to say that you have to do weightlifting or go to the gym, but you need to do some type of physical activity to get your body to the point to where you feel comfortable. It's about what you feel comfortable with. And when you feel comfortable and you love yourself, you're going to attract more people that will feel comfortable with you and that will love you as well. But it starts with you. So, you know, finding clothes that fit, that you feel attractive in, and really taking care of your body to the point to where you feel confident enough to walk around in your body. Because that, at the end of the day, is what's going to help. It's not everything, like we talked about, it's not everything, but it is a piece of it. We are visible creatures, and if you want a masculine man, you do need to have your look together.
I get it. I agree with you. Today is it's God day for me, so this is where I'm going to go. You can wear a lot of clothes and, you know, wear whatever clothes you want, but then you become vulnerable to some asshole 8-year-old who's like, why do you look like Miss Frizzle? And you're like, whoa, my whole day's ruined. You know, you wore something that Miss Frizzle wore. And ultimately, having a reference for your value of anything outside God is just, I mean, we're just kind of like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, so to speak. You know, so yeah, look nice, for sure, look nice, but know that it's completely vulnerable. You know, it's not the solution. Like, the only solution is to walk around knowing that you're loved by God, knowing that you exist inescapably held and loved by the divine. That's the only self-worth hack there is. Hey,
I love that. I really do love that. No, for real, I love that, because there's something that happens with a woman, and in a way, a woman that loves God and that is connected with God. It's almost like that. It's, even if you say you don't have a father figure, it's almost like having that father figure, because you have a source that will always love you, that's always there for you, that will always be with you, be inside of you. And there's something that comes with that. You know, there's something you can't really, you can't take that away from a woman. You can't take that away from a man, but there's some type of essence that comes with that, being connected to the divine. And you can tell, at least I can tell, when a woman is connected to God. You know, she's got to even greater radiance about her. You know, I can't even explain it. It's something that you can just feel, even when you walk into a room. And every time when I do have a conversation with a woman like that, it's like you can feel God in her. You can just feel that she's connected. And it's a really beautiful thing when a woman is connected to God, because for one, she's going to have respect for herself. Two, she's going to have great morals. She's going to have great values, and she's going to really know how to treat herself and how to treat others. And that's one of the most important things, is what masculine men look at how you treat people. If you're one of these ladies that, don't know how to treat servers or someone that you feel is lower than you, just talking to people any type of way at the cash registers, at, wherever you might be, your character says a lot about you. And so if you don't have God in your life, a lot of times that does show. and a masculine man can really tell when you just don't have good respect for yourself, good characteristics, good care for others, nurturing, these types of things that you should have as a feminine woman. A masculine man will be able to tell, and that can easily be a repellent. So ladies, definitely get connect to source, get connect to God. This is only going to enhance your life. There's nothing bad that can come out of that. It's only going to enhance your life for the better. Honestly, there's no bad that can come out of that.
I love it, man. Great.
All right. I think that's all we've got for the day. Ladies, make sure that you are cultivating your femininity. If you haven't seen that video, I'm going to put the link over here. It's going to be in the description box. In order to attract a masculine man, you need to let go of these limiting beliefs. You need to learn how to love yourself, love others. You need to learn how to make space for him, figuratively and physically. You need to learn how to cultivate your feminine energy. Let go of past hurts, let go of traumas. Forgive yourself, forgive others, heal. Feel the pain, feel the feelings and the emotions that you need to feel, and then move forward with your life. Learn how to trust again, learn how to love again. Learn how to connect to God, connect to source. This is going to be things that you can do to enhance your life, enhance your femininity, and ultimately attract the man and the life that you want. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Stay elevated.